Let's begin with an overview of the framework we've used throughout the partnership series to understand the components of effective prevention models, the spectrum of prevention. And I'll turn to Larry.
As we've said throughout the broadcast series, the spectrum of prevention is a tool for communities to design effective strategies. As Dr. George Albee said, no mass disorder afflicting mankind is ever brought under control or eliminated by attempts at treating just the individual. Therefore, the spectrum delineates 6 levels and describes the synergy between them to produce systemic change. One of the programs we'll be highlighting today is the City of Salinas, California, a Safe Schools, Healthy Students site. Their initiative, Cultivating Peace, is grounded in the spectrum. Let's take a look at some of their activities that are going on at each level of the spectrum.
What we're trying to do is to make change along the entire spectrum, and that's what's difficult, because you can pick one thing and you may be able to accomplish that, but change doesn't work unless you meet as many of the elements of the spectrum as possible.
We are going to make a difference, and that's what they're starting to teach us, because in this community we need an uprising of teenagers starting to help.
And like in there, they taught us how to be a good listener as well as a good speaker. And they told us, you know, we have to basically consider our moral values of what type of leader we are. You know, I mean, we're loud, of course, but then we got to be respectful, and we got to talk to people like, you know, like they're our friends. You know, we have to set a good example for ourselves.
The challenge for us has been to translate the Cultivating Peace framework, the peace that we put together, into Spanish, so that way we could include the Spanish-speaking population. So we could have handouts, we could have information, we could have a way of inclusion.
We've done training for all our public health nurses to take looking at home safety, and one of the areas, of course, is looking at trigger locks, trying to keep guns out of the home, number one, but if they're in the home, to talk about how important it is to lock them up. So we've done training of public health officials, we've done training in the emergency rooms. We've actually talked about the whole concept of violence and looked at it in training, and I think that's been really important in bringing the problem of violence to the awareness of our providers, of our healthcare providers, so that they in turn bring it up on their exams and screenings.
In the process of actually formulating the Cultivating Peace framework, the mayor called an extended network that included over 100 people. About 117 people came together 3 separate times in planning and being able to identify what the framework needs to include and look like, and it was, I mean, and very disciplines were represented. I mean, it wasn't just 100 agency representatives. It was youth service providers, it was public health caring agencies and private health caring agencies, law enforcement, educators, a multitude of parents, several youth who were able to get released from school to participate, faith communities, nonprofit agencies, just a multitude of partners.
We actually have inside one of our buildings right there in the counseling center, we have a parent center where parents can sit and drink coffee and break bread. We have a full-time community liaison. We invest heavily in a community liaison. We want parents to feel welcome.
What we did with the document, Cultivating Peace, is that we brought that document to the City Council, and we asked the City Council to adopt it as a priority in the city of Salinas, and that the council did that, as well as allocating $100,000 per fiscal year for programs that are going to be meeting the needs of the community. One of the programs that we supported this past summer was a leadership program for teens. We did a junior high school program and a high school program that immediately taught leadership skills to young people.